All right, let's go to our last game here. The Colts and the Vikings. The Vikings are killing me right now. I'm still not over the Darisaw injury. That was really, really, really disappointing to see.
You called it on the show. You said Jordan Love's going to look like his knee's been blown off. He'll be back in 3 weeks. Christian Darisaw, he's going to walk off and look like it's a little minor boo-boo, and he'll be out for the season.
Yeah, that's just how it works. I think he tore his ACL and his MCL. So that's just how it goes as a Vikings fan. But the season goes on, and then they're 5-2. They're competing in the toughest division in football. You got to, kind of like the Bears after losing that Hail Mary, you just got to go on to next week and figure it out. So they're hosting the Colts in prime time. Kind of surprising to see Anthony Richardson benched for Joe Flacco. I think we all agreed on this show that that's the best move for the Colts to win like this week and maybe to win next week. But when you're talking about Indianapolis's future, it's not Joe Flacco. And are you expecting Joe Flacco to take you to the Super Bowl? Maybe that's what they're thinking, but I can't get behind the decision to bench Richardson when you knew this is who he was. He was going to take time.
I don't think they're just benching him because of play. I think that's part of it. It's a bad look to check out of a game in a must-win situation because you're feeling tired. You don't do that in the NFL, especially not if you're doing that as the quarterback. That suggests that you just don't know where you are or what your role is. And look, he is. I know you say this is who he is and he needs game time and the rest, but we are rapidly approaching
the rest.
No. I just mean like everything else.
Okay.
I just mean that he is running out of time to show that he can play quarterback at an NFL level. Because we're not talking about, you can set aside completion percentage. You can say that's not the most important stat in the world, and it's not. But 41%.
Oh, it's horrible.
31%. Like Anthony Richardson, I don't think it's a bad idea. He's got a career completion percentage of 44% or 50%. It's 44% this season. It might make sense to just say, look, man, you're not ready. We've got to get you some more practice before we throw you out there again because it's looking worse as the season goes on, not better.
Yeah, I see where you're coming. I understand as well where you're coming from, but I just think this is the sort of thing where you just kind of ride it out here and
is throwing him out, having Brian Flores light this guy up. He takes 10 hits, probably gets injured again, and completes 20% of his passes. Is that good for his development?
Or maybe he comes out and he has a good game and gains some confidence, and next week the Colts are feeling a lot better. He probably
He's
won't.
Not ready.
All right. And you know what? For Colts fans who are Colts fans are probably looking at this going, are you kidding me right now? Like, how is this happening to us? Like, he looked so good at the beginning of last year before he got hurt. 10 games, right, Ziggy? Is it 10 games he's played in his career? Maybe. Like, this is still very, very early in the Anthony Richardson story. A lot of times people say I think GMs are saying currently it's like Thanksgiving, a year 2 is when people are making decisions. But with Anthony Richardson, sort of have to readjust given the injuries that he's had. So yeah, that's the side that a lot of Colts fans are going to look at, Ziggy, is your side of things, saying, hey, he's not ready. Let's sit him for a bit. Joe Flacco's been playing really well. Flacco's probably a good guy to learn from as well. And I totally understand that. Then there's my side of, hey, let him figure it out and keep going and learn from his mistakes. Now, at the same time, I understand when I'm saying that could lead to him getting injured again if he doesn't figure out sliding. So you could determine what camp you choose. But we get Joe Flacco. The Vikings are going to play Joe Flacco this weekend. And that makes it harder for us because Joe has been better than Richardson this season.
It's not close.
No, it's not close. The Colts offense, however, is not the Rams offense with Puka and Cooper Kupp playing. It's not the Lions offense and the juggernaut they've become. It's not the Packers offense and the explosive plays that Jordan Love can make. So I feel a lot better playing the Colts this weekend than I do the Matthew Stafford, Love, Jared Goff. This is an easier matchup. So for the people who have been ridiculing the Vikings defense, and they deserve it, they've been pretty bad for a few weeks now. This is a matchup. This is a get right game here. This is a game where you can settle back down and get back on the winning track. Then you have Jacksonville, Tennessee. With that said, since it's a get right game against an inferior opponent, if you lose, the sky is falling. And I don't think that that's an overstatement.
No, they can't lose this game. Fortunately, they did make things a little bit easier on themselves by trading for Cam Robinson. Mm-hmm. So that'll help shore up the left side of our offensive line. But no, I mean, this Colts team is not a team you can completely ignore with Joe Flacco in, right? You've got DeForest Buckner is back. Jonathan Taylor is back. Downs and Pittman make a solid wide receiver duo. There's a lot to be afraid of on this Colts team. You've got Joe Flacco dropping back and delivering the ball. I hope that with a little mini bye from the Thursday night game and a big kick in the butt, the Vikings come out and just look furious. We should be able to win this game, right? You've got Sam Darnold. You've got the better offense. You've got a defense that should be better. But it'll be tough, I think. When bad vibes start getting into the building, I mean, you've seen this with the Vikings season after season. Things start great. Everything looks good. And once that bit of doubt creeps in, disaster strikes. I have to say, worried that could happen again.
I didn't even see this Cam Robinson trade just happened.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm on top of it. The Vikings are trading a conditional 7th. They can move away if he gets enough playing time. And the Jaguars are sending and we're saying the Jaguars a conditional 5th that can become a 4th if he gets enough playing time.
You're funny, Ziggy. Ziggy just like casually is like, yeah, the Vikings, with the trick Cam Robinson, it just happened. And I was like, wait a second.
It happened 3 minutes before I said it.
Wow. Okay. All right. So the Vikings make a move.
But I don't know why the Bears didn't go and get him for that price, but I'll take it. Cam Robinson's had a good season. Since week 4, only 2 pressures on 120 pass rush snaps. He's not Darisaw. Nobody is, but he's a competent left tackle. We had exactly 0 of those on our roster.
Yeah,
I'm happy to have one.
Quesenberry, you saw, he's a backup for a reason, and he's done he's been okay throughout his career. Like he's filled in when he's had to in Minnesota. But you saw, you saw what happened when he came into the game. He was getting lit up a couple times. So that's great to. It seems like the Vikings fan base is pretty divided on it, but if you're going, they're going for a Super Bowl this year. Like
we're trying to win.
They're trying to win. Yeah, like they're trying to win.
When's the next time we're going to be in a position to win more games than this?
Yeah. So I love being aggressive and going against someone. Of course, it sucks to have Darisaw out. We all know that, but this is a spot though, Ziggy. Sorry, I was trying to wrap my head around the Cam Robinson as you were going on that spiel. I was like, wait, what is happening here? I need to see the defense perform at a high level. Like that is I know people are upset with Darnold and the offense for not scoring in the second half of games. I need the defense to lock back in. And Blake Cashman is still questionable. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I thought he was questionable for 1 game. I thought he was going to miss 1 game, and now we're possibly on 3. And they've lost the 2 games he's been out for. So would like him to play, would like Hockenson to finally get on the field. Obviously, their health is the priority. But this Vikings defense needs to meet. They're the ones that need to make me believe again. Because when they were dominating, I thought, okay, like we can get away with Darnold having his up and down moments, which he probably will have because the defense is ferocious and they've been picked apart. Get right against the Colts. And then, we'll see what happens on the offensive side of the ball, who there are fair criticisms about not scoring in the second half. You can't just score 3 points. You got to get it in the end zone. So there's a lot at stake in this game, for at least in my opinion, as a Viking fan, that go attack this Colts defense. We saw what the Packers did to them on the ground. Let Aaron Jones run loose on them. This is a game where they should dominate both sides of the ball. I'm hoping to see them do that, and we'll see. So you feel pretty good about it? You feel like a Viking win?
I think that we will be able to win this. I think that. Like the Vikings they've had some tough games on the road, but they're finally coming back home. I think they'll be ready for Joe Flacco. This is where the trouble starts, but it's hard for me to see the Vikings lose this game.
I also don't want to disrespect Indianapolis because there will be some Colts fans listening to this. I'm thinking of our
this Colts team is 7-1 against the spread. They've gotten disrespected all season.
They have the best record against the spread in football this year, and Jonathan Taylor's awesome. We said Flacco's been very good. Like the Colts were a game away last weekend from leading the AFC South, and even though their record isn't great, still they were close to being a division leader. So you can't take them lightly. I think they're lighter in my eyes than the Rams or the Lions or the Packers, like I said. But the Colts are not a bottom feeder team, especially with Flacco
especially with Joe Flacco in.
So isn't that crazy? Who would have thought we were saying that earlier in the year? So I don't want to, I can easily see a world. The last time we played the Colts and they had a veteran journeyman, I don't want to say about Matt Ryan, but a veteran quarterback at the helm. That's when we had the greatest comeback of all time. But they were kicking our ass before that. So the Colts have come into our building a lot recently and beat us, or beat up on us for a long period of the game at least. So you cannot overlook them too, because Jonathan Taylor is awesome on that side of the ball. And you said they're getting some guys back on defense as well. So it's a really important week for the NFC North here, where if somehow the Cardinals beat the Bears, the Colts beat the Vikings, and the Lions get a win, that could be wraps. That could be it on the division. On the other hand, if the Vikings and Bears win and the Packers find a way to beat Detroit, here we are, where basically everyone's tied, and it's going to be a crazy finish to the end of the season. So I can't wait to see it. I also have the Vikings winning this weekend, getting back on track, and I think it's just going to be, man, what a great year to be in NFC North, like a kind of a blossoming NFC North podcast. We just have had so many good games this year, so many good teams.
Paul, the more I think about this Colts game, this is sort of happening, the more nervous I get. I'm going to tell you a story about why the Vikings are going to lose.
No.
Garrett Bradbury, Ed Ingram, DeForest Buckner.
Yeah.
But you saw last week, right? DeForest Buckner, I know the Colts lost, but he reignited this Colts defense. I think, again, it's I'm not sure how many casual fans know how good this guy is, or if you just sort of follow the NFC North closely, you might think, yeah, that guy's pretty good. He was an all-pro a few years ago. How good is he really? He remains one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. And maybe he's right up there with Chris Jones in terms of how effective he is as a pass rusher from the inside. When I think about our interior defensive line going up against him, that does make me nervous.
Yeah, it should. I just will never forget on the broadcast earlier this year. I can't remember who called him. Remember Bradbury, Mr. Reliable? I was like, what? He's like, yeah, they call him Mr. Reliable around here for a reason. Garrett Bradbury, to his credit, has made...
Oh, he's reliable.
He's made some big strides. No, he's made some strides. But Mr. Reliable, I think that's a bit of a stretch, I think. So, you know what? Go ahead. Earn the nickname this weekend. Block DeForest Buckner. I mean, I'm rooting for you. So we'll see what happens there. That'll be fun. Sunday Night Football is always a good time. I think NBC has the best production of all the night games between ESPN on Monday Night Football, Amazon Prime. I just always think that NBC does a great job with Tirico and Collinsworth. I mean, it's very well done. Shout out to my friend Caroline Pineda, who works on the sidelines with Melissa Stark.
Yeah, well, who knows? Maybe they'll do a good job, but I know they'll do. I know they'll do a good job. They always. All right, we'll wrap it up there. The NFC North preview. Ziggy, thanks for squeezing in an extra record this week. Talk a little Vikings, a little Lions, Packers, Bears. Oh my! And that's what we do here. We do the NFC North.
Yeah, that's kind of what we are. So we'll be back. We'll bring Jack back tomorrow, and we'll have the Week 9. Jeez, it is crazy how fast it goes. The season, you blink your eyes, you're in Week 9.
And maybe we'll sprinkle in a little mailbag.
Yeah, we will, because Ziggy put one out. So we'll have a mailbag, little Week 9 preview, Jack Cap of the Week, Zigger Zag comes back, good stuff on the Paul Farrington Show. We'll see you soon.